One of the most common questions we get is, how do I see the number of signings or the dollar amount of signings that I've done in a given period? And there's a couple of ways to do that, but before I show you, it's important to understand that when you're talking about the total dollar value and what I'm going to show you here in terms of the amount of signings you've done or your expenses that you've had in a given time period, if it's for your taxes, the only report you should ever use is the profit and loss report. And that's because the way that you record income for your taxes is different than the way you would report it from a sales standpoint. So income for taxes is always recorded when you actually receive payment. So a good example would be if you did a signing on December 27th and then you didn't get paid until January 5th for it, that income would not be recognized and wouldn't be reported to the IRS until January. So the reports that I'm going to show you here are what we call sales reports. And the sales reports give you more of a, this is how much money I've done in sales. I might not have been paid for some of it yet, but this is how much I've done in terms of my work or sales. So there's a couple different ways to show that information. The first way is on the home page. This kind of gives you that quick 40,000 foot overview of how much you've done in terms of signings and number of signings in a given time period. And you can switch the time frame. Now, it'll default to either the current year or the last 10 weeks, depending how long you've had your Notary Gadget account open. But nonetheless, you can toggle between those two. And then what it's going to show you here on this chart is the number of signings that you've done. And if you want to see the dollar amount, then you simply click the link down here and it'll show you the total dollar amount that you've done. And if you're ever wondering what these numbers mean, if you just move your mouse over it, it will explain in detail how those numbers are calculated. So that's kind of the quick view. If you want a more granular with more statistical analysis of your sales, you can go to the reports and then go to the sales report. Now here, I'm just going to go ahead and select all customers, but I can choose an individual customer or up to 5 grouped customers together, choose my date range, and then hit generate report. And now it's going to give me very similar information, as you can see the chart right here with the signings per month and the dollars per month, but it's also going to give you a greater, more in-depth statistical breakdown. So here you're going to see the total signings, number completed, unpaid, canceled, uncollectible, how much did you have in mileage expenses, how much did you have in non-mileage expenses, so on and so forth. So it really gives you a much more finite analysis, especially if you're looking at trying to analyze a given customer to see if you're making money on them. Great ones here is the average profit per signing with and without mileage. So, and how long does it take them typically to pay you? So those are good statistical data that you can view there. And then if you scroll down, it gives you a complete breakdown of each one of your signings. And if you need to see more detail on it, you can simply click on it and it'll bring up that signing. And then you can see, whatever extra detail you wanted to about that particular one. Hope this helps.